Viewers, there's a lot going on in this country, and at the same time, something strange is happening in the Senate, and a lot of Nigerians are confused. So this is what happened. Kenneth Okonkwo came out on Channels television, very angry. He said the Nigerian Senate, that is Godswill Akpabio, is doing something very dangerous to Nigeria's elections. According to him, the Senate removed the part that will make election results go out electronically in real time. He said this is how elections get manipulated, delayed, and in fact changed. He even said Akpabio should step down because this is a serious threat to democracy. Now, before we talk too much, listen to Kenneth Okonkwo himself.
Why would the legislature prevaricate on an issue that the Supreme Court had told you that it encourages electoral rigging, manipulation, and makes you an enemy of democracy? What it means is that Senator Godswill Akpabio has become an enemy of democracy and is sticking to the vicious cycle of election rigging, manipulation, falsification, and subterfuge by trying to maintain the same provision that Supreme Court told you that if you do, you are an enemy of democracy. That man is an enemy of democracy and should be removed if he doesn't resign.
Wow. Well, I mean, it is quite a very serious matter because I had a conversation with Mr. Clement Okonkwo, the day right after, and he said to me that, look, he is the executive director of Policy and Legal Advocacy Center, and they've been working with the National Assembly, behind the scene, even trying to facilitate some of the retreats. And he said that at all the retreats held in Lagos and other parts of the country, members, each of the houses, they have their electoral committee members. As a matter of fact, Senator Lalong, who was the DG for APC presidential election in 2023, was the chairman of the Senate Electoral Committee, and they all endorsed. They all endorsed this idea. Yeah, mandatory translation. So that is why many Nigerians, are quite outraged.
It is unbelievable.
So the next question I'd like to ask you is that. Yes. I know that, I don't know whether you are quite a politician, you are a new breed of politician. How is it possible?
Yes.
Ken?
Yes.
That the Senate President can have that kind, let's even forget the audacity. But how can he prevail when the Committee of Senate had recommended something that is different? How does that even happen?
In one word, corruption. When people hear corruption, they always rush to think it is only financial. No. Corruption is the abuse of public office for private gain. Corruption, the whole idea is for self-preservation. The whole idea is that they know they've lost the support of the Nigerian people. And so they want to rig the 2027 election before it even started. Look at shifting the notice, the time INEC will give notice.
By half.
No, what sense does it make? You know why? Because if they conduct their primary earlier, people who will be dissatisfied because they are going to implode will have the opportunity to find alternatives before the time. So personal gain. So they want to cut everything in order to make sure that they survive. Private gain. So this is simply corruption. And if you witnessed the proceeding of the House, you saw the way he just told somebody, move a motion, another second. Those in support say, look, if you have been in such parliament, and I'm telling you the truth, at times people will be just discussing because they know what they have already agreed on. So they will just be saying, in all this. They will not know that some evil has been done. Let me tell you something. Even if Tinubu comes out unopposed in 2027, he will fail. Because our constitution is clear. That even if you are the only person that came out, they will still ask Nigerians to vote whether yes or no. Right. That you will. More people will vote no. How can you vote yes? No, let me tell you. Would there be any person that is saying that will transport himself under the new flight tickets cost of Tinubu, 500,000 naira, to go to his village, to go to the cubicle, to vote for Tinubu? No, is it possible? Okay, without preempting things. The person cannot even travel through the land because he will be afraid that he will be terrorized, kidnapped, or killed. The person cannot travel through the air because he can't afford the air ticket. The person cannot travel through the sea because, one, river may not have reached his village, and even if he travels, he will die. Can't you? You are hearing about boats capsizing every day.
Especially in Niger State. But the
problem, so it is hopeless. And they now want to rig the election before it starts. And they are making a mess of the Electoral Act 2022. Let me tell you, without mandatory electronic transmission of results, there is no electoral act that encourages technology.
Okay.
And INEC itself, of course, the only reason we are doing this is because everybody has lost confidence in INEC. In that Supreme Court judgment, Justice Inyango Koro, Justice of the Supreme Court, as he still is, he said, truth be told, that the non-transmission of the election results into the INEC Rev portal in real time, electronically, reduced the confidence of the people in the election. And so what it means is that even the Supreme Court has understood that people lost confidence in that election because this was not electronically transmitted. And there is a Senate President, because the legislature is the foundation of democracy, is the gatekeeper of democracy. The reason America is still standing today is because of the legislature that has refused to be compromised. And you have a Senate President who wants to rig election, who wants to manipulate election by Supreme Court's own submission, who wants Nigerians to lose confidence in the election. Because the Supreme Court has told you that the best way to make sure that the people have confidence in the election is immediately you finish in the polling unit, let them see their result in their own phone. And let me tell you, when people are debating, the legislature should better have an interpretative clause to every word they use. I told you that, in my own opinion, there were substantial provisions that made it mandatory for INEC to transfer and transmit. Section 62, good. Section 62, verse 2. Section 62, subsection 2. Is that clear? He said, INEC shall compile, maintain, and update on a continuous basis a register of election results, to be known as National Electronic Register of Election Results, which shall be a distinct database and a repository of polling unit by polling unit results, including collated results of any election organized by INEC. And they should maintain the electronic copy at their headquarters. What else do you need?
That's what the law says. Even
Section 62. Now, the Supreme Court now picked Section 62.1 and said this represents the manual transfer. And Section 62.2, which is the completion of the electronic transfer, you said no, it is post-election process. No. The interpretative canon of the law is that you interpret a section jointly, holistically, politically, not taking one subsection. One section is one section. So if the Supreme Court took 62.1, they must take 62.2 to complete the hybrid nature. That is actually the collation system they're talking about. 62.2. And they said on a continuous basis. Do you know what that means? Immediately you finish the election, transmit the polling unit. And each collation you finish, you transmit. So each level of collation is using that data, which they said repository of election result, to be used to guide you.
Okay,
but then, because of that nebulosity, that confusion, there is nothing wrong in the legislature confirming it by amending it so that it will leave nobody in doubt.
All right, good.
Truth is, a lot is indeed happening behind the scene. But Akpabio is saying, hold on. He believes many people talking on televisions like the likes of Kenneth Okonkwo don't fully understand what is happening inside the Senate. According to him, the bill is not final yet. He explained that after the session, the Senate still has to adopt what they call the votes and proceedings. And during that stage, senators can still raise objections, ask for corrections, or push for changes. So it's basically saying the bill will still go through what is called a conference committee, where the Senate and the House of Representatives will sit together and agree on one final version before it is sent to the president. So in short, this process is not over, according to the Senate president. But viewers, on the issue of free-time electronic transmission, Akpabio said making it a law could cause serious problems. That's what he said. He also claimed that at least 9 states in Nigeria currently don't have stable network coverage because of insecurity, and if the law forces INEC to transmit results in real time from those areas, it could actually create confusion, delays, and what he called catastrophe. That is why he believes INEC should be allowed to decide the best method of transmission based on what is technically possible at the time. So viewers, you have Kenneth Okonkwo saying this is a dangerous move for democracy. And on the other side, you have the Senate President, Godswill Akpabio, saying people are misunderstanding the legislative process. So we have two very different explanations, one situation. Like I said from the beginning, a lot is indeed happening, and this is exactly what is happening. No noise, no bias, just the breakdown so you can understand it clearly and let you decide for yourself. So before you go, what do you honestly think about this whole situation? Please feel free to share your own personal experience and opinion in the comments, and make sure you like this video, and I beg, share to others so they can understand what is going on. Thank you for watching.